Welcome back to Biography Central. Imagine facing a group of thieves or even being the target of another's anger, yet choosing to remain unshaken and unmoved. What if we could meet life's most challenging moments with absolute stillness? In this episode, we dive into Ramana Maharshi's principle of non-resistance, a concept that can seem impractical in today's world, but is central to spiritual realization. Through anecdotes of the Maharshi's own encounters with adversity, be it the thieves who invaded his space or imposters seeking to diminish him, we see how he remained a serene witness, embodying the teaching of resist not evil. We explore how this teaching isn't about societal rules, but a deeply personal spiritual path of surrender to God's will, allowing life's events to unfold without interference or egoic reaction. Chapter 7. Non-resistance. Non-resistance may seem impracticable in an established religion, since every country must have its law courts and police, and at least in modern conditions, its army. However, a religion has two levels of obligation: the minimum obligation upon all who follow it and upon countries where it is established, and the full obligation upon those who devote their lives to following the path laid down, regarding all worldly advantages as nothing in the search for blessedness. It is only in this second and higher sense that Sri Bhagavan established a path, and therefore, for himself and his followers, he could say, resist not evil. It was no social law for a whole community that he was proclaiming, but a way of life for those who followed him. It is possible only for those who have submitted to God's will and accept whatever comes as right and necessary, even though it may be a misfortune from worldly standards. Sri Bhagavan once said to a devotee, "You thank God for the good things that come to you, but you don't thank Him for the things that seem to you bad. That is where you go wrong." It may be objected that this simple faith is very different from the doctrine of oneness that Sri Bhagavan taught, but it is only on the mental plane that such theories may conflict. He said, submission to God, Guru, or Self is all that is needed. As will be shown in a later chapter, these three modes of submission are really not different. It is enough to say here that for one who can hold to the view that there is only the one self, all outer activity appears a dream or cinema show enacted on the substratum of the self, so that he will remain an impassive witness. This was the attitude of Sri Bhagavan on the few occasions when evil or molestation threatened. There were tamarind trees outside Gurumortham, and when he was living there, he would sometimes sit under one of them. One day, when no one else was about, a party of thieves came to carry away the ripe tamarind pods. Seeing the young Swami sitting silent at the foot of a tree, one of them said, "Get some acid sap and put it in his eyes. Let's see if that will make him speak. It is a sap that might blind a man, apart from the fierce pain it would cause." But he sat motionless, equally unconcerned about his eyes and about the tamarind fruit. Another of the party answered, "Oh, don't bother about him. What harm can he do? Let's get along." There was occasional interference or opposition during the early years on the hill. In the strange world of sadhus, where some are frauds and some have striven on the way and developed psychic powers without burning out their lower passions, it was to be expected that the radiance of divinity recognized by devotees in one so young in years should awaken resentment in a few, though most bowed down and sought his grace. Living in a cave on the hill was an elderly sadhu who had shown great reverence for Sri Bhagavan as long as he was at Gurumortham. After coming to Virupaksh, Sri Bhagavan would sometimes visit him and sit in silence with him. He led a life of austerity and had followers. Nevertheless, so far was he from having overcome human passions that he could not endure to see the number of the young Swami's followers increase and his own diminish. Deciding to kill Sri Bhagavan or frighten him away from the hill, he took to hiding on the hillside above Virupaksh after sundown and dislodging rocks and stones so that they would roll down there. Sri Bhagavan sat unperturbed, although one stone came quite close to him. Always observant, he knew well what was happening, and on one occasion, he quickly and silently climbed the hill and caught the old man in the act. Even then the latter tried to laugh it off as a joke. Having failed in this attempt, the sadhu enlisted the aid of Balananda, a plausible scoundrel, handsome and well-read, who imposed on people under the guise of a sadhu. This person decided to make profit and prestige out of Sri Bhagavan. Rightly deeming that the young Swami would be too saintly to resist evil, he started posing as his guru. He would say to visitors, "This young Swami is my disciple," or "Yes, give the child some sweets," and to Sri Bhagwan, "Here, Venkataraman, my child, take the sweets." Or he would keep up the farce by going into town to buy things for his so-called disciple. Such was his effrontery that he would say blatantly to Sri Bhagwan when alone with him, "I will say I am your guru and get money from the visitors. It is no loss to you, so don't contradict me." This man's arrogance and offensiveness knew no bounds, and one night he went to the length of relieving himself on the veranda of the cave. Next morning he went out early, leaving his spare clothes, some of them silk with lace borders, in the cave. Sri Bhagwan said nothing. He went on a long walk to one of the sacred tanks that morning with Palaniswami, and before they started, Palaniswami washed the veranda, threw out Balananda's clothes, and locked up the cave. Balananda was furious when he returned. He stormed at Palaniswami for daring to touch his clothes and ordered Sri Bhagwan to send him away immediately. Neither of them answered or paid any attention. In his fury, Balananda spat on Sri Bhagwan. Even then, Sri Bhagwan sat impassive. The disciples who were with him also sat quiet without reacting. However, a devotee from a cave lower down heard of it and rushed up shouting, "You dare spit on our Swami," and could barely be restrained from setting upon the rascal. Balananda decided that he had gone farther than was safe and had better leave Thiruvannamalai. He pronounced the hill not a proper place and departed with his usual arrogance. Going to the railway station, he entered a second-class compartment without a ticket. A young couple were in the same compartment. He began to lecture the young man and order him about, and when the latter took no notice, he became offensive and said, "What? You don't listen to me? It is because of your infatuation with this girl that you don't show me due respect." The incensed young man thereupon took off his sandal and used it to give him the thrashing he had so long needed. After some months, Balananda returned and again made himself a nuisance. On one occasion, he insisted on sitting looking fixedly into the eyes of Sri Bhagwan in order, as he averred, to give him nirvikalpa, samadhi, spiritual trance. But what happened was that he himself fell asleep, and Sri Bhagwan and his disciples got up and walked away. Soon after this, the general attitude towards him became such that he once more deemed it safer to depart. There was another sadhu also who tried to gain prestige by posing as the young Swami's guru. Returning from Kalahasti, he said, "I have come all this way just to see how you are getting on. I will initiate you into the Dattatreya mantra." Sri Bhagwan neither moved nor spoke. So he continued, "God appeared to me in a dream and ordered me to give you this upadesha." "Well then," Sri Bhagwan retorted, "let God appear to me also in a dream and order me to take the upadesha, and I will take it." "No, it is very short, just a few letters. You can begin now. What use will your upadesha be to me unless I go on with the japa invocation? Find a suitable disciple for it. I'm not one." Some time later, when this sadhu was in meditation, a vision of Sri Bhagwan appeared before him and said, "Don't be deceived." Frightened and thinking that Sri Bhagwan must possess powers which he was using against him, the sadhu hastened to Virupaksha to apologize and beg to be set free from the apparition. Sri Bhagwan assured him that he used no powers, and the sadhu saw there was no anger or resentment. Another such attempt at interference was by a group of drunken sadhus. Appearing one day at Virupaksha cave, they solemnly declared, "We are sadhus from Podakai Hill, the sacred hill on which the ancient Agastya Rishi is still doing tapas, practicing austerities, as he has for thousands of years. He has ordered us to take you first to the Siddhas conference at Sri Rangam and from there to Podikai to give you regular diksha, initiation, after extracting from your body those salts that prevent your attaining higher powers." Sri Bhagwan, as on all such occasions, made no response. However, on this occasion, one of his devotees, Paramalswami, outbluffed the bluffers. He said, "We have already received intimation of your coming and have been commissioned to put your bodies in crucibles and heat the crucibles over a fire." And turning to another devotee, he bade him, "Go and dig a pit where we can make a fire for these people." The visitors left in a hurry. In 1924, When Sri Bhagwan was already living in the present ashram at the foot of the hill, some thieves broke into the shed that at that time housed his mother's samadhi and carried away a few things. A few weeks later, 3 thieves robbed the ashram itself. It was on June 26th at about 11:30. The night was dark. Sri Bhagwan had already retired to rest on the raised platform in the hall in front of the mother's samadhi. For devotees were sleeping on the floor near the windows. 2 of them, Kunjaswami and Mustana, the former in attendant, heard someone outside say, "There are 6 persons lying down inside." Kunju shouted out, "Who's there?" The thieves replied by breaking a window, apparently to frighten those inside. Kunjaswami and Mustana got up and went to the dais where Sri Bhagwan was. The thieves thereupon broke a window at that side, but Sri Bhagwan sat unperturbed. Kunjaswami then left the hall by the north door, as the thieves were on the south side, and brought Ramakrishna Swami, a devotee who was sleeping in another hut, to help them. When he opened the door, the 2 ashram dogs, Jackie and Karupan, ran out. The thieves beat them and Jackie and ran away, while Karupan ran back to the hall for refuge. Sri Bhagwan told the thieves that there was very little for them to take, but they were welcome to come in and take what there was. Either considering this a trap or being too stupid to depart from routine, they took no notice but continued their efforts to dislodge a window frame so as to get in that way. According to the usual Indian practice, the windows had iron bars to prevent anyone getting in. Angered by their wanton destruction, Ramakrishna Swami sought Bhagwan's permission to challenge them, but Bhagwan forbade him, saying, "They have their dharma role, we have ours. It is for us to bear and forbear. Let us not interfere with them." Though Sri Bhagwan invited them to enter by the door, the thieves continued their violent methods. They let off crackers at the window to give the impression that they had firearms. Again, they were told to enter and take what they wanted, but they only replied with threats. Meanwhile, Kunjaswami had left the hall and set out for town to get help. Ramakrishna Swami again spoke to the thieves and told them not to make unnecessary trouble, but simply to take what they wanted. In reply, they threatened to set fire to the thatched room. Sri Bhagwan told them they should not do that, but offered to go out and leave the hall to them. This was just what they wanted, perhaps still fearing that the others might set upon them while they were at their work. Sri Bhagwan first told Ramakrishna Swami to carry the dog, Karupan, to a safe place in the other shed for fear the thieves would beat it if it were left there. Then he with the 3 others, Musta, Tungalu Pillai, and Munisami, a boy who performed puja or worship at the ashram, left by the north door. The thieves stood at the doorway with sticks and beat them as they went out, either hoping to disable them or to frighten them from any thought of resistance. Sri Bhagwan, receiving a blow on the left thigh, said, "If you are not satisfied, you can strike the other leg also." Ramakrishna Swami, however, got back in time to ward off further blows. Sri Bhagwan and the devotees sat in the thatched shed, later demolished, that stood to the north of the hall. The thieves shouted to them to stay there. "If you move away, we'll break your heads." Sri Bhagwan told them, "You have the entire hall to yourselves. Do what you like." One of the thieves came and demanded a hurricane lamp, and Ramakrishna Swami, on Sri Bhagwan's instructions, gave him a lighted lamp. Again, one of them came and asked for the cupboard keys, but Kunjaswami had taken them away with him, and he was told so. They broke open the cupboards and found there a few thin strips of silver for adorning the images, a few mangoes, and a little rice, altogether worth about 10 rupees. A sum of 6 rupees belonging to Tungawelu Pillai was also taken. Disappointed with their small takings, one of the thieves returned, brandishing his stick and asking, "Where is your money? Where do you keep that?" Sri Bhagwan told him, "We are poor sadhus living on charity and never have cash." And the thief, despite his continued blustering, had to be satisfied with that. Sri Bhagwan advised Ramakrishna Swami and the others to go and put ointment on their bruises. "And what about Swami?" Ramakrishna Swami asked. Sri Bhagwan laughed and replied, "I also have received some puja," punning on the word that could mean either worship or blows. Seeing the wheal on his thigh, Ramakrishna Swami felt a sudden wave of anger. He picked up an iron bar that was lying there and asked for permission to go and see what the thieves were doing, but Sri Bhagwan dissuaded him. We are sadhus. We should not give up our dharma. If you go and strike them, some may die, and that will be a matter for which the world will rightly blame not them, but us. They are only misguided men and are blinded by ignorance, but let us know what is right and stick to it. If your teeth suddenly bite your tongue, do you knock them out in consequence? It was 2 o'clock in the morning when the thieves left. A little later, Kunjaswami returned with a village officer and 2 police constables. Sri Bhagwan was still sitting in the northern shed, speaking to his devotees of spiritual matters. The constables asked him what had happened, and he simply remarked that some foolish persons had broken into the ashram and gone away disappointed at finding nothing worth their trouble. The constables made an entry to this effect and went away together with the village officer. Munisami ran after them and told them that the Swami and others had been beaten by the thieves. In the morning, the circle inspector, sub-inspector, and a head constable came to investigate, and later the deputy superintendent came. Sri Bhagwan spoke to none about his injury or about the theft except when asked. A few days later, some of the stolen property was recovered, and the thieves were arrested and sentenced to terms of imprisonment. As we journey through the life of Ramana Maharshi, don't miss our next episode, The Mother, where we explore the powerful dynamics between Sri Bhagwan and his beloved mother, Alagammal. Discover how their relationship encapsulates profound spiritual truths, reflecting on love that transcends the ordinary and illuminates the path to self-knowledge. Experience the deep emotional landscape as we witness Alagammal's evolution from a grieving mother to a devoted seeker, guided by the unwavering light of her son. Tune in to learn how this sacred bond serves as a mirror for our own relationships, urging us to find the divine in the everyday. Thank you for listening till the end. Please subscribe, turn on the notifications, like, comment, and share with your friends. This will help more listeners to discover our channel and content.